In this lesson, we will learn about the grease pencil and animation layers. If we were to hit play in this scene, we'll see our Watchman character here accidentally putting his hand on this high voltage box. So we have this cartoon gag. And this is actually from our animation layer course where we delve into the system and learn how wonderful it works. We'll take a quick look at how we can use this. So right now, as we take a look at the animation, we might notice some areas that we want to tweak. Let's say if we were to show this to our animation director and he or she was like, hey, what if we change the pose at this particular frame? And what if they wanted to draw notes right here inside of Maya? Well, they most certainly can. If we were to head over to the grease pencil, you can find it on the viewport toolbar at the top. Here it is. So when we click on that, take a look, we have this little UI that pops up, and this allows us to add frames and remove frames, and then we could start to draw on top of our screen this way. So it's a lot better than using a marker and drawing on our screen, which is how it used to be done back in the day, but now that's no longer the case. So let's go ahead and figure out a moment where we'd probably like to change the animation. Let's see around here where the Watchman is jumping up, maybe we can change a pose on frame 32 with his leg, just to push the silhouette a little bit more. But to know for sure how we should change it, we can go ahead and create a frame with the grease pencil. So there we go. And what this is doing is it's actually going to create a 3D texture for us that we can access in our 3D texture directory of this project. Alright, so now go ahead and choose any one of these markers that we can work with, any one of these drawing tools. We can use a pencil, a marker, or a soft pencil, whichever you'd like. Let's say the marker. That might be cool. So right now I have the color set to red. You can change this to whatever you'd like. Red stands out, so we might go ahead and work with that. But you could also add other colors on top of this, of course. So I'll go ahead and start to draw. So we'll go ahead and say, hey, what if we have the leg push out to about this point instead on frame 32? Alright, sweet. Now, what we could do here is go ahead and, let's say, move to the next frame and then create another note. So I'll go ahead and choose Add. And you'll see that we have this onion skinning effect, and that's coming from this tool here. So this is saying that I'd like to see the drawing on the frame before. If I turn that off, we no longer see that sketch. So if we were to go ahead and sketch on this frame and say, all right, what if the leg had a different pose here? I'll go ahead and change the color to, let's say, green. And maybe change the tool here, maybe to the pencil. I'll go ahead and create just another sketch. All right, sweet. Now, if we were to go back to frame 32, you'll notice that we could still see that green a little bit here. But if we go ahead and turn off onion skinning on the frame after, we can't see it anymore. So that's basically how that works. If you would like to erase, let's say if it's hard to see the green, what I'll do is just go ahead and grab the erase tool, and then I'll start to kind of trim away the red area a bit. And there we go. How cool is that? Alright, sweet. If I were to press the Z key, this actually is going to undo very well. So it's super advanced, even though it looks simple. Let's say if we wanted to remove one of the notes. Let's say, hey, I kind of like the pose on 33, but we do need to change the pose on 32. Well, we can go to 33, and we can go ahead and choose Remove, and no longer does that key exist, that little mark that we saw on our time slider. Alright, so now it's time to work with animation layers to correct the animation. Alright, so what we'll do is go ahead and grab our, let's say, Select tool, pressing the W key, and I'll go ahead and close out of this UI. Alright, fantastic. So now that we have our note here, you can say, hey, I'd like to go ahead and start correcting this pose. Now take a look at the foot here. I'm going to go ahead and turn off selection on geometry at the top, and we'll go ahead and grab the foot. Take a look at how many keys we have to deal with. You can imagine if we try to go ahead and pose and then scrub through, it's going to pop the foot here. So we need to be really careful about that. And that's the beauty of working with animation layers. We can add on top of our keys with a clean slate, and this is all non-destructive. So we don't have to worry about destroying the original animation. If we don't like the pose, we simply go ahead and trash it, and we can go ahead and quickly create a new pose with an animation layer. So let's say we do this. We'll not only grab his leg control, we'll grab the knee control as well, and then we'll head over to Anim, and here's where we create an animation layer. Again, we have an entire course dedicated to this really cool system. But here's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and create our layer with these selected objects. So we'll go ahead and use the slash choice here. Let's go ahead and click Create Layer from Selected. We'll now go ahead and rename this. If I were to double click, we can go ahead and rename this layer to Leg Offsets. Alright, fantastic. So now we're working with an additive layer. It's now time to go ahead and start correcting our pose. So here's what we could do. We could actually extract the animation from the previous layer, our base layer, to make sure that nothing changes until it's time. So what I'll do is go ahead and create a 0 key here. And again, that's just going to extract the pose from the previous layer. So now we can go ahead and create another one to isolate where we'd like this change to happen and where we want it to stop. So I'll go to frame 35, and I'll go ahead and create another 0 key. There they go. Now in between this, when we get to about frame 32, we can go ahead and correct the leg. Go ahead and bring that over. Maybe rotate the foot as well. Go ahead and grab the rotate tool, hold down the E key and the left mouse button and switch to local mode, and rotate the foot down to kind of correct the pose. We'll grab the knee control, and we'll go ahead and bring that down so it matches what we've sketched. Now instantly you'll see there's our pose, and then we get right back to the original animation. How cool is that? Awesome. So in this lesson, we've learned about the grease pencil tool and how it can be used to help improve our work so that we can start to work with animation layers and non-destructively create changes that we really enjoy.